Hi, Jerry Kafitz here again with number 5 in a 5-part video series that I'm doing on prayer. As we see prayer described, as we see prayer given an example in what we call the Lord's Prayer, which is actually the model prayer since Jesus never prayed it, Matthew chapter 6. At the very end of this prayer, there's something interesting here, and it's something that maybe we don't end our prayers with, but maybe we should a little more often, because Jesus said this is how you should pray, and this is how you should end your prayers, and here it is. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Well, what does this mean? We've come to God with a need. We have a great need. We've come to God, and this is maybe life and death. I'm praying for a man now, and it's life and death. What's happened here is we've come full circle, folks. In the very beginning of this prayer, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. We're expressing veneration. We're expressing respect. We're expressing an understanding of God's holiness. And in the very end, what are we saying? For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. We've come full circle here. We've come full circle. But we've sandwiched everything in this prayer in between what? Two powerful expressions of respect and veneration for God's holiness and God's agenda and God's plan, and the fact that we are on board with that plan. We've come full circle. We've ended the prayer the way we began the prayer. What does that mean? That means that in the end we're saying this to God. Yes, God, I have a great need, but when I consider your holiness, when I consider your power, when I consider your magnificence and your grace, my needs pale into insignificance. And whatever happens, it can't be bad, because you have my best interest at heart. So in the end, God, I'm going to take this time that I have with you just to let you know how wonderful I think you are. And lost in that message somewhere is maybe a little prayer request, like do this or do that. It's not lost on God. It's not lost on God. God understands that you understand Him. I have a sign in my office. Matter of fact, I carved it myself. And it says this. It's a Bible verse. I carve a lot of Bible verses into big wooden slabs from our sawmill. And that sign, this Bible verse says, in His favor is life. In His favor is life. So what you're doing when you're saying, when you're ending your prayer the way Jesus said we should, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. What you're saying is, God, I understand that what matters the most is you. And I understand that the best thing that could ever happen to me would be for me to have your favor, because your favor will spell success or failure in my life. And I know that. And that overshadows inexpressibly my puny little desires to have this little thing or that little thing go right, or for you to do something for somebody else. Because in the end, you know best. You know best. Maybe you need that person in heaven right now more than we need that person here. Maybe me asking for something here would not be in my best interest. I'm here to tell you, God, I know that you know best when it comes to that. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, and that's what I'm all about. I didn't come with a wish list. I came, and in your presence I was overwhelmed, and I couldn't do much other than just glorify you the way I wanted to, because I understood that's what I need to do in your presence. So we come to God and we say that it makes no sense, God, to try to order our lives on the basis of anything other than an understanding of the reality of who He is. And I think that's what the model prayer is all about. When Jesus taught His disciples to pray, it looks to me like what He was saying is, come to God and let Him know that you know who He is, and that you understand and appreciate and value and venerate and respect who He is. And then let Him know. No good thing is going to come into your life unless it goes through Him. No need that you have, no matter how small, is a need that you can meet absent His involvement and His grace and His mercy and His blessing in your life. That to me is what the Lord's Prayer, the model prayer, is all about. Thank you for watching this video, and if you've seen the others, thank you for watching those. There are 5 of them all together. I'm Jerry Kafitz.